And now the latest
Forecast issued at 4 p.m.
snow at
Times heavy beginning this evening and continuing
overnight.
Winds gusting to 50 kilometers per hour.
Visibility
Pouring snow and blowing snow.
high
-4, low -8.
Police
Are advising motorists to use caution
and reduce
speeds.
In news highlights
This evening, police and wildlife officials
are responding
to a bizarre incident in the city's west end. A circus truck carrying an Asian elephant
overturned
near the Exit 5 overpass on Highway 10
just after
5 o'clock this afternoon.
the animal
Appears to have escaped injury in the incident.
This is Blair. He has spent the last 3 hours in room 111 of the Archer Inn having sex with a woman named Alice, an activity he has partaken in regularly for over 6 months. Alice is engaged to Blair's best friend Dave. The boys met at the age of 6 while fighting over building blocks in the waiting room of Dr. Javid Danesh, a child psychologist specializing in bedwetting and pediatric kleptomania. The memory of this incident occupies Blair's mind, and in the haze of his guilt he is barely aware that 13 pairs of bowling shoes litter the concrete floor at his feet. This is Linda, Blair's roommate of less than a week. Their brief relationship has grown rapidly sour since Linda decided to rid the refrigerator of all non-kosher food, including a 12-pound ham belonging to Blair. At present, they are not on speaking terms. She has filled their apartment with members of her bowling league and is now leaving to purchase copies of Bowler's Journal International and additional alcohol. In 6 minutes, a delivery truck full of sanitary napkins will lose control on the hill opposite YTM Convenience. The skid marks indicate the driver locked his wheels 60 feet from the point of impact. Linda won't see it coming. This is Alan. He holds 3 university degrees, including Masters of Computer Science and Electrical Engineering from MIT. His quest for knowledge has left him qualified for almost any position in his field, while his poor communication skills and tendency to choke in high-pressure situations have seen him fail in 5 of 5 recent job interviews. Rather than risk rejection a 6th time, and in the face of ever more threatening letters from his student loan officer, he has decided to put his skills to use and is now altering his payment history on the bank's mainframe, erasing his debt. His infiltration is immediately detected, and by tomorrow morning he will be in police custody. His mother posts his bail and picks him up at the courthouse. As they drive, they argue. Approaching a highway overpass, the vehicle goes out of control, impacting a concrete support column at a high rate of speed. Both are killed instantly. This is Michael and Samantha, high school sweethearts and members for life of the Royal Ornithological Society. Michael will achieve his 15 minutes of fame in 2004 while the couple is on a birding tour of the eastern seaboard of the United States. His photographs of an eastern crested pintail, previously thought to be extinct, will be published in the Journal of Avian Biology and garner him the prestigious Littleman Migratory Bird Award. 2 months later, while photographing a red-tailed hawk in Alaska's Denali National Park, Samantha, jealous of his success, will push Michael from a ledge 130 feet above the Bremner River. The death is ruled accidental and Samantha is never charged, however her freedom is short-lived. 5 months after her return from Alaska, she contracts zoonotic tuberculosis from a finch in a local pet store and dies in hospital 6 weeks later. This is Ellen, also known as Little E, elementary school teacher and street racing enthusiast. Early in her career, her overly enthusiastic teaching style led an annoyed 6th grader named Gregory to suggest she find a hobby. She chose racing to spite an ex-boyfriend who'd mocked her parallel parking abilities. In 3 weeks' time, she will be killed in her first race since installing a high-performance nitrous oxide kit in her Honda Civic. At 106 miles per hour, the bottle explodes, rupturing a fuel line, incinerating the vehicle and its occupant. Her funeral is attended by her co-workers and many of her students, including Gregory and his father David, whose auto parts store had sold her the defective nitrous bottle. This is Kapusta. At 12, she spent 10 months living with her grandmother in Poland while her parents underwent a long and messy divorce. There she rode horses and learned to cook. Her Her grandmother's cabbage rolls remain a reminder of what was the happiest time of her life and have become a favorite among her friends. In 2 weeks' time, her grandmother will die. The loss leaves an emptiness in her life that prompts her to volunteer as a full-time cook with the Peace Corps. She is immediately stationed to a refugee camp in central Uganda. On her second night in Africa, the camp is overrun and destroyed by rebel soldiers from the notorious Lord's Resistance Army. Her remains are sent to Poland and buried beside her grandmother on a hill near the Odra River. This is Raymond. As a child, a debilitating speech impediment kept him from making friends, and his ability to form lasting personal relationships never fully developed. The great accomplishment of his life has been overcoming the stuttering voice that haunted his formative years. He has spent the last 18 months as a telephone representative with Unicom Systems, a telemarketing agency, where he's been named Most Valuable Associate on 3 non-consecutive occasions. Despite his employer's support, the constant hang-ups and verbal abuse inherent to those of his profession leave him desperately lonely and unhappy. He seeks comfort in the company of local prostitutes, with whom he shares his deepest feelings but never seeks a physical relationship. In 2 years' time, such a liaison will cost him his life when he is found stripped to the waist in an alley behind a Vietnamese restaurant, his empty wallet in his mouth. The case remains unsolved. This is Dave. In his mind, he is hearing his best friend confess to sleeping with his fiancée, Alice. It is Blair's voice, recorded 27 minutes ago on his home answering machine. Dave is looking for a confrontation. He wants Blair to retaliate. The response is somewhat different. As Blair is struck, an undiagnosed brain aneurysm in his head ruptures from the sudden stress. The hemorrhage immediately begins pouring blood into the subarachnoid space, putting pressure on his brain that will kill him in minutes if not relieved. That relief comes less than 2 seconds later when Blair's head strikes the concrete floor, fracturing his skull and saving his life. Dave sees only the torrent of blood and flees, thinking he's killed his best friend. 15 minutes later, Blair is stabilized and being taken to hospital, while Dave, broken by the evening's events, stands atop an overpass, the cars beneath blurred in tears. He closes his eyes and leaps to his death, landing as fate would have it on the hood of Blair's ambulance, which swerves into the path of an oncoming elephant.